So quickly, Eustace, how do you make coals?
Well, you gotta go and cut the wood.
What kind of wood?
Well, it have log wood, it have chink wood, it have ironwood berry. You have so many different varieties of wood.
Okay.
You know, so you put them all together in a pit. Then you cover the wood with grass, then you cover it with dirt, and then you light it, and it burns for several days.
Yeah.
And then after the wood burn, turn cold, it's out by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get it cold.
And then how do you get it into small pieces like that?
Well, it burns for itself.
So it breaks down into these small
It
pieces?
breaks down to these.
Okay.
From the log.
And so traditionally the women here have been the people to go...
Those are tremendous in burning coals. They are very, very great in burning coals, the women. They mostly do the coals work.
Yeah. And so they bring back these bags of coals and then they make the food.
Exactly. They sold it, sometimes they keep it for the home domestically use.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot of work, eh?
Cut the wood from the trees. Yeah. Yeah, I dig it.
And everything. Everything.
If you go out there, you will see the kind of coal pit, how they process it.
I'm here in Gellizeaux now, just beside the burial ground, and this is one of the coal pits that have been set, and you can see it's, well, smoke coming out. I'm gonna put my hand by. It's hot. So it's hot, and I guess that this is like dirt that's put on top. And if I swing round here, you can see that there's lots of logs, lots of wood that has been put there. Obviously, all of that has had to be cut. It's a lot of work. These are big pits. It shows just how reliant people are here in Paget Farm on coal from these coal pits. When this is finished, when the coals are finished, they have to dig out the dirt. Wow. So do the men ever help?
No, you would have heard, come on and do that.
Has to do it. Wow, that's a lot of work. So
A lot of dirt to fall.
a lot, ladies and gentlemen, this is the dirt on on this coal pit is not, it has to be moved by hand. There's no tractor, bulldozer or whatever that's going to come and move this easily. I mean, it's got to be done by hand. It's amazing, all of this work. I mean, I'm here, let me see, 11 o'clock in the morning, and parts of this are in the sun, parts are in the shade, but you can just imagine, can you imagine how difficult this work must be? Wow. And right next to the coal pit are the coppers to do the farrine. So this is where the women will come to do their farrine, and you grind it there in the mill. But obviously there's no one down here today. Everyone's having a well-earned break, I hope, for Easter. And if you look at it's got edges on, as you can see, to help grind the cassava. Wow. I guess obviously there are places in Bequia where they will be growing cassava, and they'll bring the cassava here, grind it into farine, salted farine. Boy. It's open shed. And so there is the farrine, and if I swing round, we have the coal pits. So a lot of women will be down here working. I guess the men will be out fishing.
Well,
The well for water. Water from that well is used to wash the cassava.
that is my name.
You get the cassava from the ground,
Yeah.
and then what do you do with the cassava?
You scrape it.
You scrape it.
Yeah.
Okay, you scrape it,
You wash them off and you put them on the mill.
and then you wash them off, and then you put them on the mill.
Yeah. And then,
Okay, let's go to the mill. Let's go to this mill. So everyone can see how cassava is made here in Bequia.
if you have them on the mill, feeding.
Okay, so here, gosh, so can you see that? So they're using their feet like that, and they're feeding the wet cassava through there.
You feeding it, yeah.
Okay, and it goes into this box.
That's the back to put
Okay, on the other side.
it.
Okay, so it comes through, and then what happens? What do you do with it? When it's in the box?
Where do the back?
Yeah, what do you do with the cassava when it's in the box?
And when you could have come out the box?
Yeah,
You have 4 posts there, have the bag and a ring them.
4 posts.
Yeah.
So what? These posts here.
Yeah.
So you ring them.
Turn them up out there. And a ring.
You ring them on these posts.
Yeah. And then we put the set over it and we chip it off.
So these posts here, these wooden posts.
So you got to tap the bag
Yeah.
to get to the cassava before we go to the cracker.
Okay, so you ring it, and then what do you do here? What do you do here? Because I still don't really understand.
After you sift it off
Yeah.
in the box.
You sift it off in the box.
Yeah. Then we light the copper.
Okay.
Put the fire.
You light the copper,
Copper got hot.
and you've got the coals underneath there
Yeah.
from the coal pit.
And then we grease it. You grease the copper.
You with what?
Yeah, very coconut.
With coconut.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
with
coconut.
coconut oil.
And we grease the copper before we clean it.
Okay. This is really. So you grease these things with coconut oil,
Yeah.
and then you add the cassava.
Yeah. Then we have the stick and a push.
You push.
Push in.
Oh yeah. I've seen the ladies. These kind of big like matchsticks, and they're kind of turning it. So how long do you have to leave it in these things?
Let the farrine.
Yeah, to get ferry.
Push till it gets dry.
Yeah,
Then you taste it.
yeah.
Then
Do-
it gets hard.
Do they add salt?
Yeah.
They add salt.
Yeah. It's just salt and everything.
Okay, so that's for your salted farine, and for your sweet farine, what do you do?
After the thing is back in box and you take it out and go home.
Yeah, but the sweet farine, how do you get that?
Well, I put it back in, put some sugar in it sometimes.
Oh, okay, like brown
Sometimes you have
sugar.
the sweet cassava.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the bitter and the sweet.
Oh, you have 2 types of cassava.
Yeah.
Sweet cassava and
You
bitter
could eat the
cassava.
sweet one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not the bitter.
No, the bitter one
You're dead.
is dead.
Okay. Boy, well, I wouldn't know I wouldn't know the difference between the two. Ladies and gentlemen,
But
you
not
have
bitter.
some idea of how we do cassava, farine here in Bequia. I must come down here when the women are here, when people are here, and see the whole process. This is sweet cassava, and I guess it's going to be obvious that he's not going to have any of the other type of cassava.
Those are the cassava.
So these are the cassava. These are the sweet cassava. How can you tell a sweet cassava from the other type?
You taste it.
You taste it.
Yeah.
So they both look.
You know the difference.
They both look alike.
Yeah.
But so you have to
You
taste
bite
it.
Yeah, taste it.
My word. This is very strange. So every cassava that you pull out from the earth, you have to taste it
Yeah.
to see which is which.
Yeah.
Boy, I never knew that.
And those are peas.
Yeah. Your peas. Bequia people love their peas. Peas and cassava in the garden. And this is the way we do it here in Bequia. You would do it with canned fish, fresh fish,
Any kind of fish, meat, anything.
whale.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's what your lady and I used to eat first.
yeah,
Make them strong.
yeah. None of this processed food. It was just natural ingredients. Nothing from the tin, nothing from the
And
packet.
to eat it for milk and sugar also.
Yeah. You put milk in the farine.
And it's sugar. You eat that dry.
Yeah. I would eat the sweet farine, but I don't really like the salted farine.
Yeah.
The salted farine is to eat with like fish and so on. Okay, so Eustace, you've just said that you have some dry peas.
Yeah, in my garden, yeah.
So you said that you put them in the sun.
Yeah, you gotta put them in the sun. After you pick them off of the tree, you put them in the sun to dry.
Do you put them green?
No, dry.
So it's brown.
Yeah, when they're brown.
So you pick them in the shell, and then what do you do?
You put them in the sun to dry for
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah,
Then after they dry for 2 days, you put them in a sack.
yeah,
Then you take a log of wood and you pound them,
yeah.
and then you wind them out. You take the seeds from the shell that crack up.
Yeah,
Because the wood, when it pound
Yeah.
the sack, it crack up the shells and
Yeah.
the seeds come out.
But then you got to separate the shell from
Separate, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the peas that come out, do they look green or do they?
They're brown.
They're brown.
We call them dry peas.
Okay.
Yeah. They're already preserved by the sun.
And so you can just put them in a tin or jar
Just put
or
them in a
something.
tin and leave them for months, half a years. Yeah, and they're protective because the sun already dry them.
So sometimes I think some like worms or something gets into the seeds.
Yeah, it is all depends if you left them exposed for the weevils and the parasites.
Yeah.
But when you preserve them, you put a little black pepper, a little hot pepper,
Hot pepper.
yeah, inside of them, so they prevent the
Hot pepper sauce.
No, not the hot pepper sauce. The hot pepper itself that be on the tree.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
you dry it and then
Yeah.
you put it in the peas, and that keep it from parasites.
Okay, so you're getting all sorts of tips here, tips and tricks to preserve
I learned
your.
all these things from my mother and my father because, as I told you already before, my father died when he was 99.
Yeah.
And my mother died when she was 87, you know, so I used to go in the garden with them and see everything that they prepared. And put up, they used to call it for rainy days.
Yeah.
You know, so I get all this information in my head, you know. So, and then eventually I say, I'm going to try the thing that my parents do. So, eventually, I love walking gardening. I love planting corn, peas, cassava, plant all different kind of stuff in the middle.
And Humpy was telling me that you got the sweet cassava, which is the one that you can eat.
Yeah,
and then you got this other cassava, which
the
is
bitter
poisonous,
one.
the bitter one.
The bitter one,
And
yeah.
he's saying that you can't. The way you tell the difference is you
can't plant.
you have to taste it.
No, what happened? The sweet cassava can peel, but the bitter one cannot peel.
Okay, but
But
I like Humpy's method better because
what are you saying? The sweet cassava can peel like ordinary potatoes.
Yeah.
But the bitter one cannot.
what happens if you try to peel a bitter cassava?
It won't peel. It will break up. It won't peel. It scraps.
So you can never you can never use that for farrine because you can
use it.
You can tell.
But then you have to
You can use the bitter one.
You have to grind it. Then you have to wring out the juice, which is the poison. Then you have to sift it, and then you have to bake it.
You didn't tell me this, Humpy.
Yeah.
I tell you, you got it wrong.
Oh yeah, well you did tell me that, but you didn't say I could use the bitter.
Yeah, that's
Farrine.
make the bitter farine. The bitter cassava.
They make it farine. Alright, so the sweet one.
But you have to take the poison out. If you
So that's when it's gone through the mill and you wring it out. You're wringing out the poison.
yeah, then you sift it, then you bake it,
Yeah.
then that's the bitter farine.
Okay.
You have to do the sweet one also the same way.
Yeah.
The same you got the sweet cassava, you make the same farine.
But the
But
sweet
it's two
cassava,
different-
you're adding sugar or something.
No, same salt.
The same salt.
Yeah.
Boy, this is really confusing because the sweet cassava that I know, the sweet farine, is
Yeah, the sweet cassava itself, I love the sweet.
yeah.
But we don't like the taste of the sweet cassava because the sweet farine. So we throw a little salt in it
yeah.
to make it equal to the bitter cassava. Because sometimes we mix them all together.
Wow. Oh, so where are the women? Where are the women who should be working down there?
Well, right now the season is off.
So when is the cassava making season, the farine making season?
It's like from January to March. Because right now the springtime coming back, so you can. And the cassava right now, you can't do it because springtime already coming. So it will already turn back to water to get much bigger for next year.
Okay.
That's how the system works.
Okay. Well, I mean, I need to go down there whenever I'm down here in the January.
That's next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
To see how these women do it because it looks very interesting. And I mean, the coal pots were. I mean,
The
just
copper.
the coal pot. So to make the coals.
Oh,
I mean, to see how much dirt there is and how it all needs to be moved away before you can get.
Everything that you do
It's a lot of work.
It can be very technical.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, very
I never realised that there would be so much work involved in just getting coals. Wow.
The farine have a lot of work in it too.
Yeah.
The farine have the same product as
Yeah.
the coals.
Coals,
I
yeah.
mean, coals.
We're having a discussion here about the merits of St. Vincent farine versus Bequia farine. And we think that St. Vincent farine is not as good as, like from Oya, is not as good as the Bequia farine. Why isn't it as good?
It is because what they do, they bring out this too much of the juice from the meal of the farine.
And they do it with machines.
Exactly.
They bring it out too dry.
Yeah.
So what we do, those local women bring the farine and they leave a little juice.
Yeah.
So when you bake in the farine, it must have some starch left inside it.
Yeah.
So when you soak it to eat it,
Yeah.
it must have the starch. So the farine to come together.
Yeah.
After when the farine to soak it. like
Okay.
that. Yeah. When you bring out all the juice, all the starch out of the farine, when you're gonna bake it, it will be too dry. So it won't come together when you're gonna soak it. To
Yeah.
eat with your fish broth, your dove whale and stuff like that. You know, you have to leave a little juice inside of it. Yeah.
The lady that who have the experience know exactly how much juice to left in the farine when you're gonna bake it.
Yeah.
They know. You understand? Especially those older ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know exactly how much water
Mm.
to leave into the meal
Those are set up people.
when you're going to bake it now. So if you bring out the meal too dry,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have much steam. If you're not gonna see much steam in your meal when you start to bake it, it will be too dry.
No, the meal have to have a lot of steam. That means the steam is cooking the farine.
Okay.
And the steam will go down and go down and go down till it dry out.
Yeah.
And then you hear the
Crackling.
crackling in the copper.
Yeah.
Then you know your farine is good to go.
Okay.
Yeah. You must have steam in the farine to cook it.
Okay. So the one.
So you don't bring out everything dry because you won't have much steam to cook the farine.
So the one in St. Vincent.
It will
it's-
come dry and fine like flour.
So that's the one in St. Vincent, but the one in Bequia is better because it's more water.
That's why. Well, since I be growing up, I heard a lot of people say they love the Bequia farine.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Gosh. These things I never knew.
I said, if you see a man look like a fool and you think he's a fool, still listen to his story. Because every human being has a story to tell.
We can learn from everybody,
Exactly.
even a fool.
Exactly.